Welcome to episode 9 of the Symphonic podcast, with me, your host, Ben Sebastian. This is probably going to be the worst episode of the podcast, but it's going to be an important one for me. And I'm doing this because I've wanted to promote authenticity of self, of emotion, of experience. And I've talked about the shit that I've been through in my sort of bonus episodes, particularly when it comes to the family and their disappearance, and my upbringing, my mental health, personality disorder, cocaine abuse, recovery, imprisonment, release, setting up, doing this, promoting bands, etc., trying to make life as purposeful as possible. And I'm very grateful for that, because for some people that opportunity doesn't come, and I learned today that that opportunity didn't come for my brother Richard. And I kind of want this episode to commemorate him. And also I could just stick a silly post on my Facebook and Instagram and go, look, for personal reasons I've got to take a break. I don't think that would have been the right thing to do. Although some people might say this is all a bit silly, me coming on with this, but I've been a bearable kind of guy from the start of this, so, and there are other people that are going to be going through this, other musicians that are going to go through this, all this kind of thing, and it's important to live by my motto of continuing doing the music, continuing to do the podcast, no matter what life throws at us. And this is what life has thrown at me today. Excuse me, this probably won't be my most flattering podcast either. Today I was speaking with my manager S about, my family household, the family and the disappearance and what have you. And some 10 hours later I finished my shift, I'm on the phone to a friend, and I decided to just randomly do one of those kind of Google searches you do, and you kind of expect to see the same old stuff, but today I didn't. I learned that my brother Richard passed away, and this was essentially the day I was restarting my life. The other day I came out of prison was his last day, as he died in the early hours, the morning after. And there wasn't really else a lot, but I eventually found a sort of almost like a private investigation into the circumstances, and some interviews with my father, because he's quite PR mad and narcissistic, and he's got to make a fucking show of everything. But that aside, what I learned was that my brother had bipolar disorder. I have borderline personality disorder. It's often misdiagnosed as bipolar. But anyway, he had a disorder. The disorder was sufficient enough. He was in and out of psychiatric homes for a period of time, some recent years back. He struggled with drug addiction, cocaine, because I've seen screenshots referencing of text messages referencing tickets, which is a sort of unit of package that this ghastly substance comes in. And the long story short is there's a phenomena in the UK known as cuckooing. Now, cuckoo birds invade the nests of other birds and kill the inhabitants, egg bound or not, and completely take over the joint. And this is a phenomenon in the UK, but in relation to drug dealers, and it gets pretty violent. Think, hey, you're an addicted individual, here's some substances. Oh, now you can't pay us the money we've given you for the, all this, and there's debt involved and stuff, and essentially it becomes a well, what do you know, I've got this great idea, we'll use your pad to cut up, store, hold, whatever, and before you know it, this individual is trapped, vulnerable, can't get out, can't use the phone, is beaten. And I've seen screenshots of messages that my brother was speared on occasion, beaten up multiple times, and in fact violence had been something that he'd become quite accustomed to. And of course he'd become quite accustomed to it because, well, I grew up in the same household as it, so I know what violence is like. And there's me going about all my life since my sort of dad sort of disappeared with my family, thinking that he was just gonna, magically sort of find me one day, and and he'll be out of the clutches, and he can come and speak to me, man to man, and all this kind of stuff. And the curiosity surges that I'd done before, sort of revealed a guy with, kids, some with, he's had some kids with one partner and had kids with another partner, and everyone sort of like looked happy and looked like a guy that was getting his life on order, and I was the one sort of shut out. But there was all this mental health and addiction stuff going on. And Richard he did pick up the keyboards. He didn't take to it as well as I did. In fact, I used to tease him for when I was a youngster. But he picked up steam, and there's one time when he taught me something. I come home one day, and he taught me Dimmy Borgia's Morning Palace, which is the only song I'm going to play on this podcast, on this episode. It's just so fucking horrible, it's so fucking nasty, and it's just so fucking sad, tragic. And I wish I could have done more, I wish I could have been more. And this is the shit, the self-recriminatory stuff that I've got to overcome. I've got to deal with the grief. There's this Buddhist necklace that I wear, and there's a video of this I actually caught the other day as well, but it's a well-known practice. You neither, when things are good, you don't pull things towards you, because what happens when you pull things towards you, they go away. The same thing when something bad happens to you, you don't push it away, because if you push it away, it comes back. So in that spirit, I'm going to take all this head on, and I'm not quite sure when I'll be able to kind of be a happy soul, kind of doing my usual podcast stuff, because I've got an episode that should be coming out on the 1st I haven't recorded yet, but I will be back, and I will double down on this ethic that it's okay to go through stuff, it's okay to feel stuff, it's okay to be wobbly, it's okay to you know, be a mess and then not be, and then work your way to not being a mess. And I'm just gonna make this event. It's gonna make me think long and hard about how we can keep each other not only well promoted but safe, sound of mind. But yeah, I wish I could have had more memories with you, Richard. I really do. I wish our family weren't so fucked up. I wish I could have healed sooner. I wish I could have healed better. Enough to come back somehow and face the family for the sake of other innocent parties like yourself. I can't do any of that now, so all I can do is honour you, honour the memories we did have. And make this podcast to be something I can be proud of, that you would be proud of. So, to Richard, this is Dimmy Borgier's Morning Palace in your memory. This has been episode 9 of the Symphonic podcast.